Hi, this is Em, and this is going to be a what I call peeking at flowers video. I've got some stacks that I've taken out of the pressed flower books, and I have just stacked them like this. Basically, I took them out of the books that you see me pressing in if you watch my pressed flower demonstration videos, and I've just stacked them up here with their cardboard, and I've sat them on the shelf. Actually, these have probably been sitting on the shelf for about a couple weeks now, waiting for me to actually put them away. And I had them sitting on the shelf with this on top, and then just a slight weight. Nothing. I'm not really trying to press them now because they're already dry. This is just a holding pattern for me to put them away in a book. For what I'll do now is after we peek at these and I finish this video, then I will take and put a sheet in, go 1, 2, 3, about 4 pages, put another one in, put another one in, and that's basically now. Then I will go and put them in my my area for crafting with, for both myself personally and also for the flower packs that I sell on Etsy. So what I thought I'd do is we'll peek at some of the results. So a lot of people say, well, what do they look like when they're pressed, when I'm doing in the garden videos or the garden vlog or pressed flower demonstration video. So this goes in tandem or in complement to some of those other videos. I'll link some of those playlists at the end of this video, as well as down in the description or the information box below. So if this sounds like something that you're interested in, let's get started. These are from earlier in the spring, and we know that because these are columbine, and the columbine are no longer in bloom. And this was a really nice one that I like. This was a deep blue, a pressed deep blue, held its color very well. So you can see how that worked out. And I won't bring everything up to the camera, but some things that I want to focus on, show you how beautiful they are. So this is one kind of columbine, and if you watched my In the Garden vlog from earlier this year, you will see the actual plant that, or I'm assuming I showed the actual plant. So I will set this off over here, and because I'm imagining there'll probably be some other columbines in here. Here's some more what is this? Huh. I don't know. That must be some sort of Marguerite daisy that I did in profile. And this is some columbine leaves. Now here's a columbine that's more open face. So this particular one, you see me in the garden blog talking about what I call the single and double petals. The single ones, sometimes you can do them open face. So that's more columbine. Another thing that I do when I put them away is I will tag them like this before I put them in the book, so the tag sticks out when they're in the book, so I know what is on this page when I'm trying to find something specific. Now this tag I already used on some lupins from before, so I'm just going to cross that out and I'll write columbine on here. So I do reuse some of these just because I'm a thrifty girl. So that's how I tag them, so I know what to find. These cardboards here, I can reuse them, so I'll just put them in my cardboard pile. The reason you see me in this video having this, what I call, this is called chipboard, and then of course cardboard and chipboard, is because the last batch of cardboard that I purchased, I got a case, and it was last year, and it's really poor quality, and it's got these ridges, and you saw me talking about in another video about if your cardboard has ridges that, now this side doesn't have the ridges, but this side does. And if your cardboard has ridges, it can imprint onto your flowers, which is why I'm using this smooth cardstock on top of the ridges. It's kind of a pain to have to do that, but I'd rather do that than to have the ridges on my cardstock. This is more Columbine. This is another type. This one I really like because this is the one where when I was in the garden I said it presses like a starburst kind of. This one's really, really quite interesting. That's not the best choice of background color because it doesn't show it off very well. Here's the one that's a little bit more vivid in its color. See how cool that is? And then in profile, it's really neat. So that's another kind of Columbine. I'll set this in the Columbine pile. More Columbine. I pressed them mostly upside down, so I gotta get my finger up under there because the centers oftentimes like to stick to the paper. That's the front. That's the back. More of that. My favorite Columbine. Here's another Columbine. Oh no, yeah, that's another Columbine. That's pretty cool too. It's like it's having a bad hair day or something. I really like it. I think it's kind of cute. Let's see what else we have here. Here's some Columbine leaves, front and back, and then some lupin, blue lupin. And the pink lupin have been coming, excuse me, the pink lupin have been coming through really good, but the blue lupin have been a little bit more iffy. Like this one kind of got a little bit more brown than I like, whereas this one is to me just fine. The center here was kind of a yellowish white, and it went a little cream, but it's not so off color that I consider it a negative thing. Whereas this one is pretty brown. I wouldn't use that one, but I would use these. But you never know what you're going to get. I mean, some years I pressed the blue lupin and they turn out fine, and one year, I think it was last year or the year before, I pressed them and I couldn't get any of them through without turning really brown. This is called a fan flower. I want to say the botanical name is viola, but don't quote me on that. You know, my brain is just, you've heard me say it, short-term memory, but I call it fan flower. And that's pretty much what it looks like when it grows. I don't think I showed you that in the garden video yet, but I should. This is carrot leaf, and this is fennel, which I love. Put that in the leaf department. And then let's see what this is. More fennel. I press the big ones and then also smaller ones. This is probably right up there. It's right up there at the top of my foliage list of things that I love. More fennel. Okay. We'll just go real quickly through that. See what this is. All right, this is pentas. Holds its color really well. It's got this star shaped. Well, it's sticking. I don't want to take it off, but you can see what it looks like. This would be considered the front. This is profile, and then this is probably pentas leaf. yeah, that's the leaf of the plant. This is coral bell, what I call the large flower coral bell. You'll see some other coral bell when I do some reveals that are smaller, but this is, let me get a piece of cardboard to bring it up closer to the camera. See how small that is. I love this for detailed work, holds its color well. And some really tiny forget-me-not. More coral bell. Oh, this is that that poached egg flower that you saw me talk about in one of my garden vlogs a couple months ago, a month or two ago. And I said how it presses true to color. They're very sheer. They're like tissue paper. But look at how, but the white stays white and the yellow stays that nice lemony yellow. And this color, what you see here, will last for years and years and years. It pretty much presses true to what it looks like in the garden. It's a very unusual plant, and I really like it. Very sheer, however. So that's poached egg plant. And here's a poached egg plant in profile, more like a botanical specimen to how it grows. And then this is the leaf to this. I have three kinds of bleeding heart. There's what I call the fern leaf, which is the smallest ones. This is the middle. I don't know what species this is, but it's getting a little bit more to looking like the one that I call the garden variety. But I don't have too many of those this year, but that's what this one is. And then this is that alyssum in the purple variety. Here's a pansy. Okay. This is actually one of my favorite parts of the flowers, when I get to peek and see how they turned out. This is bachelor button and viola. This is the perennial bachelor button. Again, I talked about this in the garden vlog. You saw what it looked like when it was growing, and that's how they turn out. I do the individual petals off of the plant. So that's probably primarily on that sheet. This is more bachelor button perennials, some verbena in kind of a purplish. This is the leaf from the chamomile. And when they get flowers, they get little daisy-like flowers, and you can use them for herbal tea. And they smell like green apple, but they're really cool. This is the first year I've pressed these, and I really like them. So that's what's on this sheet. This is the Korean lilac and the Korean lilac leaf. This is the front. This is the back. Looks like some of them browned. I had to end up picking some of them after they were getting kind of spent because we had a bunch of rain when these were blooming, and I was afraid I wasn't going to be able to get to pick any of them because the rain wouldn't stop. So sometimes you have to do what you can. Oh, here's some more Korean lilac. Now these look a little bit better. So those are, and when they come through, if memory serves, they'll hold their color pretty good. Here's a larger spike. This is kind of how they grow on the spike. Bring this up to the camera. See, that's how they grow on the spike, and then sometimes they'll break them down into smaller pieces. And then for using in your arrangements, you can drill right down to these tiny individual little pieces if you're doing miniature work. You can also press the regular lilacs if you have them. I just don't have any regular lilacs. This is the only kind of lilac I have. But back when I used to have a lilac tree bush thing, and I used to have several different kinds, I used to press those. But we have a mild climate here, and it seems like lilacs like colder winters, and so they just didn't last very long. This is just petals from some sort of marguerite type daisy, I believe, some sort of purplish color, but the center's too thick to press, so I did the petals, and I really like the way they turned out. This is called, and I probably have a sheet with better representations. This is called painted fern, Japanese painted fern. And I'm not sure what this is, some sort of, I don't know, I shouldn't even venture a guess. But it gets little plumy type flowers that really aren't good for pressing, but the leaves are interesting because of the way that they're spiky. This is that plant that I said I had no idea what it is, but that the leaves are really neat when they're pressed, and especially if you can get them when they've got this really good color going on, and their color lasts for, I want to say forever, but you know, I'm embellishing when I say that, but it lasts for a really super long time. There's some more of that. Okay, here's some more of that fern that I was talking about, the Japanese painted fern. It's really cool. It's got this silvery tone to it. This is the front. So that's, excuse me for bumping the camera, yeah. So that's really nice. Something different. More of the same. And this is Silver Mound Artemisia. And what I like about the Artemisia, oops, what else is on here before I go off talking about it? This, oh, okay, this is, my husband has a Jupiter's, yeah, I think it's Jupiter's beard, and so I picked the leaves. It's not flowering yet. What I like about the Artemisia is that one color, or one side is more silver than the other. See, here's one side, and then if you turn it over, it's more silver. And I use the most silver side in arrangements, and it just really kind of, I don't know, I like what it does for being different. So that's what those are. And it's probably some more of the same. More of the same. A lot of people ask me what kind of paper I'm using. This is just regular old copy paper, multi-purpose paper that's in my printer. And then this paper I purchased probably 20 years ago. I bought a couple reams of it because it's nice and absorbent. I don't know what it is because I don't have the packaging anymore. The store that I bought it from is no longer in business. I've tried to find something similar and I can't. It's got a good weight. It's a lot heavier than copy paper. So I just keep reusing it as long as the paper isn't all funked out or icked up and still good. I just recycle and use it over and over again as I can. This is a pink lupin that I have. This one presses really well. It holds its color for a long time. So they remind me of Pac-Man. Those of you who remember the Pac-Man game, remember doop 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 doop. I actually used to play that many years ago. I thought it was kind of fun. Back when video games were first getting started and you'd go to the arcade, and that's back when the Pac-Man looked like little cubes rolling around. The quality of the graphics wasn't all that great, but it was a fun little game to play. This is Buttercup. This isn't a Buttercup leaf, but that's Buttercup. And I love Buttercup. They hold their color for years and years. Here's some more, another kind of columbine. This is one that I would call a single petal columbine, pressed in profile. These are hard to press open face. Most of these are all going to be pressed in profile. And here's another kind, the one that I was talking about, how it has it like it's having a bad hair day. I think it's just funny looking. Okay, so those are more columbine. Things over here with the other columbine. We're almost done with this pile. I'm probably going to break this video up into piles because I've got, I don't know, quite a few. I've got at least 3 piles, and I don't want this video to get too long. And it kind of goes in sequence from earlier. This is earlier in the season. And then the piles kind of just go chronological as the season goes on. So this is what I call the garden variety of bleeding heart. Here's a gem, Mrs. Bradshaw. I think it's Mrs. Bradshaw. Some more of that columbine. Bleeding heart leaf. Let's see if I can bring this up closer to the camera. These are really nice. I use them singly, and I also leave them on the stem, so I can decide how I want to use it in arrangements. And this is the last one in this pile, more columbine. Okay, that's one stack done, and then I will probably do a separate peeking at videos for the next stack. So thank you for tuning in, and you have a wonderful day.